Hello and all, welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one we're talking greatest lightweight of all time, UFC, that is. Joe Rogan has some very interesting comments. Speaking of the matter, obviously Khabib Nurmagomedov comes up in this conversation. But we're going to talk about Joe Rogan's actual pick for the greatest lightweight of all time. Before getting started, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel. Your channel, one and only MMA Vision Analysis. Joe Rogan thinks that it's not Khabib Nurmagomedov that's the greatest lightweight of all time. Rather, it's BJ Penn. Obviously, Joe Rogan always praises BJ Penn, and if you're to look at the guy's history, BJ Penn, that is, you're going to come to find that this guy not only fought at lightweight, right? BJ Penn fought as heavy as light heavyweight against a Machida, and that was over in Japan. So you have a guy that fought, I think, 145, 155. There's probably a fight that happened like at 170 and 185, and for certain he fought at close to light heavyweight, right? It was a Machida fight, Lyoto Machida, that is, over in Japan, where it was a surprise opponent for BJ Penn. I think he didn't find out about the guy, his opponent, Lyoto Machida, until like the same day of the fight or something, right? So you have a guy that fought in multiple divisions, right? Left the UFC. Obviously, he was a champion back in the early days of BJ Penn. Some kind of conflict. Then went to Japan. I think it was Pride where he fought. That's where the Lyoto Machida fought happened. You have to understand, Lyoto Machida fought John Jones, right? Perhaps one of the greatest light heavyweights of all time. So you have a guy who did not care, BJ Penn. He just fought everyone. So if we were to take all of that into consideration, then you would have to say that BJ Penn just covered more divisions. But I don't know if I can agree with Rogan. Obviously, he is the expert here. But I don't think that I would agree with him in terms of, calling BJ Penn the greatest lightweight of all time. Just because in terms of, dominance, Khabib was just so dominant. And according to Coach Javier Mendez, that is, longtime coach of Khabib Nurmagomedov and the coach of Islam Makhachev currently, Khabib had the potential of covering more than just the lightweight division. He had the potential of covering the welterweight and the middleweight division, according to Coach Javier, that is. Plus, Khabib Nurmagomedov retired at the age of 32. BJ Penn, I think it was like 5 or 6 losses in a row before he actually, before the UFC actually made the guy stop fighting. It just came down to that, obviously. So it was an anticlimactic ending for BJ Penn's career, but you cannot take anything away from BJ Penn. The guy, look, he fought, and the crazy thing is that he fought at featherweight, if I'm not mistaken, towards the end of his UFC career. So making the weight is absolutely wild to me, right? He fought at featherweight, lightweight, and light heavyweight for sure. I'm pretty certain that he had a welterweight fight in there. I don't know if BJ Penn fought George St. Pierre, which you would have to assume that took place at 170. I think he fought George St. Pierre. I don't know about 185, but he most certainly fought Lyoto Machida, and that was a light heavyweight bout, right? So it's very confusing for me to know which one is truly the best lightweight of all time, just because one guy actually fought at lightweight his entire career, and then the other guy just kind of spread himself out across a multitude of divisions. So I don't even know if like BJ Penn would be considered a 100% lightweight. The guy covered so many different divisions, right? I would say that BJ Penn's perhaps one of the greatest fighters of all time, but in terms of the greatest lightweight of all time, currently it has to be Islam Makhachev, with all respect to Joe Rogan, just because of the sheer dominance, right, from beginning to end. And his last fight is probably more dominant than any other fight that he's had in the UFC. So it's very hard to argue with that, and I think it's going to be very hard for anybody to even come close to that heading into the future. If you made it this far, appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments, like, subscribe for more.